Hey, what's going on, Miami Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network. It's Ben Morgan, and it's the 17th day of on-field workouts during training camp for your Miami Dolphins. And today was the first of two joint practices with the Philadelphia Eagles leading up to Saturday's preseason finale against Philly. But today was fun. And I'm going to elaborate more on that throughout this video, especially when I talk about some of the Eagles beat writers and their takeaways and thoughts on how practice went. But let's start today on the defensive side of the ball and Wednesday's orange jersey wearer, because after his 2-sack performance during Tuesday's practice, Jaelan Phillips is your Miami Dolphins orange jersey wearer for Wednesday's practice. Credited with anyways, at least 2 more sacks today on Jalen Hurts. And this is where I want to leave you with Jaelan Phillips after today, Dolphins fans. When you watch the Miami Dolphins on the defensive side of the ball this year, don't just watch the ball. Pick a player, specifically one that you think might have some sort of impact and be involved heavily on that play each and every single time. But more often than not, watch Jaelan Phillips. Watch the array of moves that he has. Watch the amount of defenders that he draws. Watch his burst, his power, his speed. He is going to be one to watch throughout the entire season. Watching him operate in 2022 is going to be fun if these last couple of days is any indication as to how the upcoming season is going to go. So big ups to Jaelan Phillips with huge days in a row. But let's get on to Tua, because I think this tweet that Travis Wingfield put out kind of summarizes his day and the Dolphins' day in general. And the tweet reads, Tua's ball placement really popping today, consistently throwing away from the leverage of defenders, lots of no defense for a perfect throw type of reps. Great news. And I talked about this yesterday, but I'm going to summarize it again real quick here for you. These joint practices that we're seeing with the Eagles are likely Tua's final competitive week of work leading up to week 1. These reps are against a new team. It's a new scheme. It's new looks. But most importantly, they're protected reps, meaning the defenders cannot hit Tua. So it's my guess they use these practices as the final run for Tua in regards to live action. And we're going to end up seeing a lot of Skylar Thompson in Saturday's action against the Eagles. But let's talk about Tua, because he had notable completions to Cedric Wilson's for 20 yards. He hit Trent Sherfield for 15, also had a 10-yard touchdown run. But keep in mind on something like that, he can't be touched. So as he gets to the goal line, likely would have been a huge collision. Not the case. And that's exactly why you do these joint practices, because you get those quality reps against everything that I just said, against a new team, new looks, new scheme. But you're protected. So you don't have to worry about doing that kind of stuff on Saturday in a meaningless preseason game. But let's talk about Tyreek, because this is where I was talking about those Eagles beat writers. Pretty fun to watch these writers cover today's practice, because you're going to read things such as Tyreek has been uncoverable, no defenders within 10 yards, eye-opening how the Dolphins are moving the ball through the air, which is just music to all of our ears. And I'm guessing if you're on the other end of that, not so much. But let's talk about this video coming up here. I got video of Tua hitting Tyreek for about 30 yards where you can see Tyreek is pretty damn open. And this is where you're going to see those kind of reports coming from. Like, where's the defense? You got a guy coming in motion. Tyreek's actually on the slot, the closest to the line of scrimmage. And I'll show this a couple of times. But that ball gets thrown up, and there's no one in that area. Tua basically has to fit it before that first safety. But why I like this play, and I'll show it again, is because of that route concept. Because one of the other wide receivers that's lined up next to Tyreek, he's going to make his out move about 15, 20 yards down the field. And all Tua has to do is read the cornerback. If he goes with that wide receiver, he's going to Tyreek. If the cornerback stays back, he's got that other short guy for the 15 to 20 yard completion. So you'll see it here again. Takes that falling back, by the way, nice pass. But the cornerback stays with that first out route, which leaves Tyreek wide open. So all Tua has to do is drop that one in there in the breadbasket. But Tyreek, numerous big plays today, including a 25-yard catch where he actually ripped the ball away from a defender. We've all seen the photos right now of Tyreek. Dude's looking like me out there. Jeez. Another 12-yard completion from Tua over the middle of the field. Really good day from Tua. Really good day from Tyreek. Those are your offensive stars of the day. Don't be surprised if one of those two is donning the orange jersey tomorrow. But let's talk about Mike Gesicki, because it was kind of another curious day, because practice essentially opened up with reports coming out that the Dolphins are interested potentially in trading him if the price is right. And then basically practice concludes with him making a 20-yard one-handed catch. And there ended up being conflicting reports on those trade rumors as well, saying the Dolphins actually haven't fielded any calls. They're not throwing his name out at all. So I'm not even going to touch on that specific issue today. Just good to see Mike Gesicki back making these type of plays, especially after a brief visit with a trainer earlier in today's practice with what looked to be like an upper body shoulder issue as well. I do have one other highlight that I want to show of a completion to Durham Smythe. And this completion, I'll tell you right now, it doesn't look impressive. It's like an 8 to 10 yard completion, but I'll tell you why I like it here. Durham Smythe is going to be off to the right. Just a quick, get the ball there, get some zip on it and get it in. But I'll show you what I watched for on this one now. Tua, in my opinion, there's no way to really prove this, but I think Tua already knows he's going to Smythe as soon as he gets the ball. But what he does is that it's that Alabama Tua. It's what we saw back in the day, the head, the eye manipulation. Watch how he immediately gets the ball, jerks his head to the left, and then comes back to Smythe exactly when he needs to and makes the completion. So you see snap, head, jerk back, gets the Smythe in between the defenders for the first down. Love seeing plays like that. It gives you back to why Tua was such an elite prospect to begin with, because of that head and eye manipulation, the accuracy, the ball placement. We can go on and on and on. But let's talk about the run game, because just like preseason action, the Dolphins could not get much going on the ground today. Now, this is a solid test, too. This Eagles defensive line features the likes of Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis, and those are big guys. Fletcher Cox being a big guy and a proven guy, and Jordan Davis being a first-round draft pick and just a huge guy in general. So this is going to be a test. It was today, it'll be tomorrow, and it will be on Saturday as well. Zaquandre White did have a 10-yard run. Mostert had about a 5-yard run. Other than that, not really much going on the ground today. Tua did hit Salvon Ahmed for a 25-yard gain through the air versus a blitz by the Eagles, where Salvon Ahmed was able to leak out. And that's really been Salvon Ahmed's kind of calling card this offseason. If he ends up making this final roster, it's going to be, in my opinion, in large part due to what he can provide as a pass catcher through the air. And one thing that I want to, as we wrap up here, that made me really happy today, especially today versus like the last 2 weeks, is that when the Dolphins had to run their 2-minute offense, got to have it points. They did that again today against the Eagles. They finally capitalized and got into a position where Jason Sanders was able to make the 50-yard field goal, and those gotta have it points. They had completions to Mohamed Sanu and Gesicki to set things up, but the fact that they didn't take a sack, or they didn't run out of time and weren't able to get the field goal unit out onto the field in time, shows that they're taking the steps forward in the right direction as we're winding down on training camp and as we're entering the final week of preseason. So great news there. Miscellaneous player notes. Kader Kohou with another pass breakup today. He also added an interception on 7-on-7 work, which, if you know much about 7-on-7 work, is very impressive, because that's literally skeleton. It's an offensive drill to be able to get your guys the ball without a lot of clutter around. So big on that. Noah Igbenogany had a third down tackle that left the Eagles short of the first down marker. And Brandon Jones had a sack on the first play of team drills for the Miami Dolphins defense. I do want to talk about Jaylen Waddle real quick. He did some individual work did sit out the team portion practice again. Wouldn't surprise me if he's essentially shut down now until week 1. We'll see if he gets any action in tomorrow's joint practice, but I'd say he's a definite no at this point in time for Saturday. Something to monitor as well, Nick Needham. He was basically cleared after the injury he suffered in Saturday's game, left practice today alongside of a trainer. As of recording this particular video, no new updates, but something to keep your eye on for any news that will be breaking. And the Miami Dolphins also worked out linebacker Trey Flowers, who is 29 years old, was released by the Lions back in March, as you likely know, has played for the Lions, played for the Patriots, was a big name free agent a couple of years back and has kind of tapered off since. But Andrew Van Ginkel missing practice the last couple of days is something to keep an eye on as well. It makes sense that they're bringing in a guy like Trey Flowers to kick the tires, see what they may have here. we'll have to keep an eye on that and keep an eye on if they bring in anyone at the cornerback position as well. But before I wrap up today, the Jaylen Waddle. Backroomcollection.net. This thing is huge. This thing just pops. If you would like to get your hands on some Miami Dolphins canvas art, whether it's Waddle, Tua, Phillips, old players like Marino and Surtain and Ricky Williams, they've got an array of things at the backroomcollection.net. Use promo code FINSUP for 10% off of your complete order. But that's what I've got for today, Miami Dolphins fans. I will be back at some point tomorrow with the final joint practice report leading up to Saturday's preseason finale against the Eagles. So that's my time today, Miami Dolphins fans. Until then, fins up.